a question from Caroline. Um, this was after her first trial. It was an AKC trial. She says, at the trial, my dog's alerts were weaker than in training. I know this is reality and why we train with distractions. Um, in containers, he wasn't going to stay on the source. She called it fast and got a yes, but she was troubled by the fact that he was already moving on by the time she'd called alert. In the interiors, the same kind of thing happened, but instead of calling it quickly, she waited for him to leave source, did a tour of the room, and then returned for a stronger alert. From a handling standpoint, I feel better about the interior because even though he took more time, I think it was better learning experience. Yes, I wanted to win, however, I felt that the training was more important on that search. So at a trial, call it quickly on a weak alert or hold out, take more time and ask the dog to do it better. So that's an interesting question, and interestingly enough, I got 3 questions recently that are very similar, all coming at the same exact problem from different directions. And I want to kind of look at it from a couple different ways. So what you talk about for training, you wanted to do it one way. Well, what training are you talking about? Because there's different things you can train at different times, right? So am I training that when you, now I know this wasn't a new location, but still, let's just imagine it's a new location, because for most people it's a new location. Do I want to train the dog that in a new location your handler will reward quicker and more generous, or that they'll be stingier? And there are pros and cons to either of them, but especially for my dogs, the first 5 trials they go, I want them to know that my owner will reward me quickly and generously. And the reason is I want my dog to be more excited about competition searches than training searches. They should pump out that little extra energy. Now, I know it wasn't a new location for you and Hawk, but I want you to remember that the trial nerves add an extra dimension. So your dog's softer alert could have been due to trial nerves. Now, what you did wasn't strictly speaking wrong, but here's where it could go wrong. You could wait for the dog to leave and make him go back, and now the dog goes, okay, when my mom's stressed, she won't reward me the first time, so I have to leave and come back. So now you've accidentally built a behavior chain of alerting, leaving, and then alerting again, right? And it doesn't matter that you think that you're rewarding a stronger alert, and in his mind, no, you're just rewarding the second time. So I'd rather build the strength of the first alert by rewarding quickly and rewarding generously. Try to think, why is he alerting softly? If he doesn't normally alert softly, then why is he doing it? Is it because the reward for odor isn't good enough? Is he thinking you're getting stingy? And so why alert? I'm just going to get put in the crate. Maybe I'll go search the rest of the room. That seems better from my perspective. Or maybe he's just, I don't know how to deal with my mom's nerves, so I'm just going to alert softly. There could be a lot of reasons for that, and I don't think what you did was strictly speaking wrong, but it might have consequences. Doing it my way might have consequences too. Let's look at the consequences that way. If the dog hits the odor soft and you reward, what's the risk? The risk is that, well, you think the dog will now be rewarded for a soft alert. That argument doesn't seem to hold up. I don't know what the risks are of doing that, so I want you to think about it and tell me what you think the risks are of that. I definitely don't think his alerts will get softer unless the reward is not valuable enough, and then the problem ends up being the reward being valuable enough, and we're accidentally training him to catalog by having a reward that's too low value. Remember that hunting is more intrinsically rewarding than finding, so you've got to be careful to balance those things. And to me, it's not about winning, even though that's the words I use in class. I think that when you try to win, you make better choices. And by better choices, I don't mean choices that lead to you winning. I mean choices that are better for the dog, that the dog gets more energized, the dog moves faster and more efficiently, and the dog likes and enjoys competition rather than dreads competition. So that's what I think going for the win does. And rewarding quickly, especially at your first trial, is not a bad thing. We don't know, what the judge's odor was like. They sent their own odor for trial, so the judge's odor might have been different. So the dog may have been giving you a soft alert, not because of anything other than the odor was a different quality than it normally is. And the best thing you could do for him is to just say, yep, you're right, good job, reward. Now, again, you didn't ruin anything by telling him, okay, well, we'll let you go back. He did go back. I would just be wary of that becoming a habit, right? So maybe mixing it up is the best solution. I hope that answers your question, and keep them coming.